It'll be 28 years on December 29th.
When Mike and Lauriann Bartell got married,
We met at church.
they thought their lives would be perfect. And nearly 3 decades and 6 kids later, Mike says things were pretty good.
I remember telling Lauri, I'm a little nervous because our life is so good that I'm afraid something bad's going to happen because God doesn't let you run around just having everything be great, you know?
What that young couple didn't know on that cold December day was that life would throw them a gigantic curveball, one that could make or break their family forever.
She's the kind of person that when you knew her, you always wanted to do something for her because she was always that way with other people.
Lauri was one of those outgoing people who loved to talk, and everybody loved her. But in 2015, everything changed.
She had an ulcer in her intestine, and it had started to bleed a little bit.
Doctors took a look and decided Lauri needed surgery. She was admitted to the hospital and had an operation on August 31st. Afterwards, she complained she didn't feel quite right, and 2 days later, still in the hospital, she suddenly woke up her husband.
And I was in the rocking chair next to her sleeping, and she said, something's wrong, you know. And so I called the nurses and doctors down right away.
The cauterization on her ulcer had broken loose and torn into a major artery, according to Mike.
She said, give me a blessing. Yeah, that was the last word she said.
And did you give her the blessing?
I did. The doctors were there, and I was finishing when they were going crazy, trying to help. The nurses, they kept, you know, Mrs. Bartell, you know, and they're shaking her, trying to get her to talk.
Mike says Lauri bled out and lost her pulse twice. She was rushed into emergency surgery and miraculously survived, but a lack of oxygen to her brain caused major damage, and doctors didn't think she could pull through.
I came home and told the children that it looked like Mom wasn't going to make it. And then on Monday, they ran another CT scan just in case there was a change, and there was a big change. She had brain activity again. And so the neurologist told me, he said, if it was me, I wouldn't give up. I would take her home and try.
That's exactly what Mike did. After 6 weeks in the hospital, he brought Lauri home. She couldn't speak, eat, move, respond, or do much of anything, but that didn't matter to Mike or the kids.
I would rather take care of her here than have to send her somewhere else.
At first, Lauri had a tracheotomy to help her breathe, but after 7 months, doctors were able to remove it. There's been other progress as well.
She wakes up, she looks at us now. She recognizes when you call to her.
She is in a coma.
Yes.
Is she brain dead?
No. She has brain activity.
She could potentially wake up at any second.
Yeah. The prognosis isn't good. That could ever happen, but it's possible.
It's hard.
Matthew was 14 when his mom had the surgery. He didn't tell his friends or teachers about what happened, but over the years has come to accept the fact that this is his family's new reality. Do you ever think about, man, I just wish my mom was normal. I just wish I could go in and talk to her and she'd talk back.
Every day of my life. Every day. Like, me and my mom are pretty close. I love my mom to death. She's like my favorite person I've ever met.
Despite the challenges, the Bartells say they're closer than they've ever been. One reason, they all work and contribute money so bills can be paid.
Everybody just kind of tosses money into the pot to keep us going. We've had to learn to live on hardly anything. She has disability insurance, and it's the best thing that she can have, that Medicaid disability. The problem with it is you can only make a little bit of money.
Mike's full-time job is caring for Lauri. He says he's paid in blessings and credits the generosity of friends, family members, and strangers for helping the family survive.
People have come out of the woodwork giving us money.
One of those people, Taylor Swift. Yes, that Taylor Swift.
And I wanted to do whatever I could do to help my family.
Earlier this year, 19-year-old Sadie posted about her mom on Tumblr and tagged Swift, her favorite singer. Numerous other fans shared the post and also tagged the pop star. A few weeks later, a big donation to the family's GoFundMe account was deposited from Swift herself.
And I just started screaming, and I looked at the thing and I bawled my eyes. I just started bawling. And my dad started crying, and I told him.
Many ask Mike why he hasn't admitted Lauri into a facility. After all, it would ease the financial burden on the family and life could be easier.
She would rather pass on than be in a facility. The reason that we have taken care of her like this is because she loves being with her family. And so if she couldn't be with her family, she would rather go. She's a very faithful person. She believes God's waiting there for her. And so she wouldn't have any problem moving on.
Lauri is doing fine health-wise. She receives nutrition through a feeding tube, and Mike sleeps next to her on a separate mattress, waking up every 2 hours to turn her over and make sure she doesn't get bed sores.
Mike is so amazing as far as the care he's giving. The home care folks report they've never seen someone look after a partner so well.
It's unknown if Lauri knows what's going on around her and if she understands what's happening. What Mike does know is when he's not near her, she makes distressing noises until he returns. He also knows she's content and happy when her family's around, and that as a husband, 28 years ago this month, he committed to love and serve his wife forever, no matter what.
As kind and sweet as she's always been to everybody in the family, and the way she raised the kids and the way she's been as a wife, and I feel grateful that I get to serve her.